What is up, everybody? What's going on?
Hey, everybody, we're glad you're here.
Thank you so much for being here. We are super excited about our guest, right, babe?
Yeah,
Uh, if you don't know,
I've been anticipating it all day long.
if you don't know Sunny Slaughter, you're gonna learn today. And I mean, we were just talking about it. We could literally do the entire hour just on her bio and all the stuff she has done, researching this woman. I mean, she rocks hard and like I can't even like babe, like can you believe all the stuff that we were like reading and stuff, all the stuff she has done and is doing?
No. And the best part is that she is so kind. She is authentic. She's genuine. I mean, she makes you feel good just to watch her speak because she has a lightness about her that is just so nice.
Absolutely. And authentic for sure. Like when you're watching her, it's just like I don't even know. Like you feel good, like Shannon. So you're watching her and you're getting good info. You're getting good. You guys have seen when there are some folks some talking heads were like, this person doesn't not Sunny. She is given the good. So I'm gonna start the bio now because if I don't start the bio now before we bring her on, we'll never finish. so Sunny Slaughter, she's the master connector and Olivia Pope of crime. She is the founder and managing partner of Sunny Slaughter Consulting LLC. You have seen her commenting on Court TV, Law and Crime, Surviving the Survivor, Grizzly True Crime. She was featured in Women's Leadership Magazine USA as one of DC's top 25 women business leaders in 2020 and one of WBC's 104 Champions of Change Women in Business 2021. She is a federal law enforcement instructor, training coordinator, and consultant, formerly with the U.S. Department of Homeland Security, Federal Law Enforcement Training Center. She has extensive expertise in crime against persons, domestic violence, sexual violence, human trafficking, exploitation, and crimes against children.
Ms. Sunny Slaughter is the former co-chair of the National Opioid Caucus and co-chair of Violence as Public Health Issue Committee for 8 states in the Southeast region under the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services Office of Minority Health. She's conducted training at the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children and has worked with law enforcement agencies and families of missing and murdered persons. Sunny has served on human trafficking task forces in Alabama, Georgia, and Washington, D.C. She produced a report on the state of health of Alabama for the 19th U.S. Surgeon General, included in the daily briefing of President Obama. As a litigation consultant, she provides expert analysis and support. She collaborates with legal professionals, prosecution and defense teams, and prominent law firms.
So, without further ado, the wonderful Sunny Slaughter. Hey, Sunny, how are you?
Hi! I'm on the show! Yay!
And you have been working. Why don't you tell the folks some of the work you've been doing just in like the past week?
Oh my gosh. First, let me say, what an honor it is to be on with all of you. I'm so excited. I've been waiting for this all day. I'm extremely exhausted, but now that I'm on here with you guys, Jay and Shannon, thank you so much. Oh my gosh. So I left my house last Tuesday. Okay. I have been to South Carolina, to Hilton Head to do some kind of polling, voting stuff. And then I went to Savannah to see my oldest daughter. But I was headed to Atlanta to present for the Public Health Institute. A lot of people don't know that I'm actually a public health expert as well. So all of my work intersects public health. I am the subject matter expert and law enforcement to me for the Epilepsy Foundation of America, and we were doing kicking off our pilot training for sworn and non-sworn law enforcement. And so that was 3 days of full on training. And then following that, like that was Thursday to Saturday night and I mean late Saturday night. And then Sunday night, I was I was supporting my client who is a reentry program out of Alabama. The executive director was talking about her program that's been in place for about 22 years. And so I was there supporting her, listening to Mahari talk about creating a school of public health. And then I showed up on Court TV, and I was so excited to be like in the studio. Yeah, so I got to do that. And I'm actually the expert for Scripps News, which Court TV is that network. So I was in the building. And you all know how this is behind the scenes, when you're on camera. Well, there's somebody in your ear saying, okay, tilt your camera down, give me a 10 count, a 5 count. Okay, Sonny, cut, that kind of stuff. So I got to see everybody behind the scenes.
That's so cool. And you are just working all the time. So we're really grateful that you came on with us after doing all that, and then you're coming on the show with us. So thank you so much for doing that. Yeah, we saw you on Court TV. We see you all the time. And like I said, we always, when we see you commenting, we always know A, it's going to be good info, and B, we're kind of going to just feel good just from your presence, which we're feeling right now. And I can see in the chat that folks are feeling. And by the way, we will continually share your link tree in here, folks. So check out all the links. Sunny's everywhere. She's out there. Follow, folks. Make sure Twitter, everywhere. So let me just put in the link tree. But go ahead, babe.
I always like to start the interview with my favorite question, which is, what were you like as a small child?
Oh my goodness. Thank you for asking that question. My mother has been gone 25 years, so everything belongs to her in my life. As a young child, I was adventurous, I was inquisitive, I wanted to know, and I actually had a focus on crime. My mother was an investigator, a private investigator, and she also worked for the New Jersey State Police. But she read true crime magazines and books. So, oh, hey, Darlene. So, all of the stories, and I have been reading, and I was really young. So, I was very open and protective of people if I saw, them being mistreated. Now, I'm very tall for my size. I'm 5 feet tall. And I think I sat in the front of the class, and I don't know whether I had the Napoleon thing, but I think I kind of got the, I got to puff it up a little bit there, but I was bold and I was inquisitive, and my mother said I also could have a little smart mouth. So, if the teacher said it was one way, I would say, no, I don't think I'm doing it that way. I was like, are you sure? So I questioned everything. If I didn't think it, I just, and I really dug in, like, to cases as a very young child. I would, have debates with my mom. Do you think the person killed them this way? And most people would not want their very young children to look at some of the things that I was reading about. But my mom allowed me to be me. And for that, I'm grateful.
That's so awesome. So what a great story. So now let's get into, we just went over, you're a consultant, you do, but so much more. You do so much. Can we kind of start, how did your journey begin into all the things that you're doing? And maybe if you want to touch on, you had a job in New Jersey where you were the first, if maybe you want to touch on that, and now you're kind of how you started.
So when I was in high school, I went to a private high school, Notre Dame High School in Lawrenceville, New Jersey. And on my senior year, I had to change schools to go to public school so my sisters could go. And I became the first and youngest African American to work for the New Jersey Attorney General's office for the Division of Gaming Enforcement. So I worked in the front office, and I had to have a background check. That's when I also found out that my uncles were like big time like American Gangsters. They were part of that whole thing there. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, and I was like, I went to the jail to the prison to visit, and that came up in my background check, and I did not know what that was, so I kind of found out that. But that gave me my footing, and it also did something that education couldn't do. I had hands-on experience, so I learned to write press releases. I learned to do even more of a deep dive into that, into RICO cases and all kinds of crime things, because we were the investigative arm. And from there, I became the youngest EMT to receive the New Jersey Public Safety Award. I was one of the first 8, but the youngest person from Governor Tom Keene, who became a really good friend of mine because I am authentically me now and then. And he kept messing up on the video we were doing. And I was like, I got to go to work. And you like keep messing up, and people are looking like, oh my God, does this girl know she's talking to the governor? So he was like, do you want to read it? So I was like, yeah, I can read it. And I started reading his lines. And at the end, my government name is Sonetta. And I said, and this is Sonetta Barnwell. And everybody else was like shocked. And he started laughing. And then they started laughing. He said, like, can you wait till I leave office? So they literally have all of that. There is a transcript of that I have that they put in the New Jersey notice that went out to all state employees across the state. So I have always known I wanted to do something, but I wasn't quite sure exactly, what it was. So I've taken all of the work that I've had over the years, and I in 2003, when I found out, well, before then, I started my own consulting firm called Parents Action and Awareness Resource Center. But then in 2003, when I found out that the man I was married to was a child predator, and I put him in jail, and I took my 4 children and moved to Alabama, I was working, but I went to Gardendale First Baptist Church. It was a mega church, and the pastor was reading the scripture, if you want to walk on water, you got to get out of the boat. That was in August. In September, I quit my job and said, I'm going back, because I had a company previously, but then I did it as a solo mom, not a single mom, because, when you're a single mom, you have a little help somewhere. I was a solo parent, and I stepped out on faith. And I've been stepping out and falling down and getting back up and pulling things together. And it has been a journey, and sometimes a very painful one, but I have been persistent through it all.
Wow. From New Jersey to Alabama with 4 kids by yourself. Oof. Uh, I can't even handle 3 kids with Shannon helping me. I can't even imagine what that must have been like for you.
I was alone, but not lonely. The kids were, they've always been very, very much a part of my work. So I raised them in this work. But it was a lot, sometimes stressful, and there was a lot going on. Trials, personal trials. With him, and then just doing things, and so it was 20 years of a lot of grit, but all worth it, because I don't know. I think I was like kind of born for this, whatever this is.
I agree.
You have knitted together just such an amazing career. And it's just so interesting to hear how each of those, threads, and how you were the one connecting them all. You did every single thing. I know that you give credit to your mom and your family, and all the interviews that I've seen you always mention that, and your faith. But girl, you had like so much tenacity to keep going. And I mean, it would have been so easy. I've been a single mom. I was like not a solo mom. I still had like a little, he was a little bit of
Girl,
help.
like a thread.
Yeah, exactly. Um, so and that was, I had one child. So I'm just blown away by that part of the determination that you showed to your children as well, because they watched their mom do that. So I, I commend you greatly. And I have to know, because as soon as I very first read your bio, I want to know where the moniker the Olivia Pope of crime came from, because I am a big Scandal fan.
Girl.
Who isn't? Who isn't an Olivia Pope fan? If
Yes.
you are not, just leave now, please.
Exactly. Okay. Well, let me tell you, Shannon. Okay, Jay, this is a Shannon and Sunny conversation, right?
I'll see
Girl,
myself out.
I mean, was she not okay? So I really need to be thinner like her, right? But I mean, the walk, the presence, and when she said it was handled, honey, it was absolutely handled. Now, the fact that she was sleeping with the president was like the whole, she probably should have been doing that, but it was the whole kind of icing on the cake. Now, I'm not sleeping with the president. No, okay. He is not my type. Joe. No, not Joey, not Donnie, not Baracco. Yeah, but but so the Olivia Pope of crime, there was something about her presence, and also Annalise Keating,
Yes.
those women, they're Black women, they're strong, they were on television. And there was a guy named Bruce Nix at Fox News in Birmingham, Alabama. And Bruce gave me that kind of clicker. So, well, the flicker, I should say. Before he left the station, he came by the office and he said, I want to do a reel for you. And, people always said, you kind of got that Olivia Pope kind of thing, the swagger. And he created this reel, and he put the flicker in there. And I was like, yes. So the Olivia Pope of crime and how I handle, yeah, I'm handling it. That's what I'd be saying. I'm just handling it.
I
Now,
love it. And also, the other thing I always think of that I associate with Olivia Pope, that I now associate with you because of your moniker, is the white hat. We're the white hats.
yes, yes.
And so, like, we're the good, we're the light that's coming in, and we're going to, help people. And so I love it.
I do. Thank you so much. And look, so I got a new car in July, and I took her to her boyfriend before we got on the road. And of course, she's the gladiator. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've been trying to hashtag more of my stuff on X, hashtag crime gladiators. That would be kind of my thing. But
Mm-hmm.
you know, I think she just resonates. Well, first of all, I love Kerry Washington. I think she is just a badass in and of herself, her personal story, her life story. But I also love Annalise Keating, and my work. I really would like to see it kind of resonate in the I say from the community to the courtroom to the corporate world to the classroom.
Mm-hmm.
And I see all of the work that I'm doing as an education topic on how we think about uh, crime, but how we see ourselves in the midst of the conversation about things that are happening, not just to individuals, but that really impact all of us. And like your show, how you really educate people by infusing really good information into their lives, even when they don't like it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And I think, that theme is very important because, Bob Mata Joe Jackalone, who's in here. You guys are all, and you, and I think the people that connect with us most are people who are teaching us something, because there's so much going on behind the scenes with all these cases that, and you guys have the experience. So for you guys to share that with us, I think is key, because if you're kind of a talking head and you're just kind of telling your point, but you're not trying to like teach with it, I don't think it comes off as well. And you guys do, and you particularly do such an awesome job with that.
You know, I love me some Bob Mata, right? That's my man.
Yes.
Oh, that's my partner in crime right there.
And he loves you too. And actually, he's by the way, guys, he's got a show tonight at 10, and then
Easter.
and after this show, Steve and Dan, who are in the chat, have a show. So right after us, so we got you guys set for Thursday night. We got the whole lineup. It's like
Must be TV.
it's like what was Friday night when it was Urkel. It was
Yeah,
the
that
lineup.
was
It was
Yes, yes,
full
that whole line.
house, step by step. We're setting that up
Yes.
for you guys. The lineup.
Mhm.
So what I want to talk about next with you, Sonny, is you federal law enforcement. You're an instructor. Tell us about that. What do you do? Tell us what that job, what that entails.
Oh my gosh. So I was went to take a class in Atlanta with the Department of Homeland Security on domestic violence. I was the state coordinator for the Silent Witness Initiative on domestic violence, and I said, "Oh, I saw this class. Let me take this class. Let me get that." So I'm in there in the class with law enforcement. There are a few non-sworn people, and we were doing the train the trainer for domestic violence. Well, after our week there and everything, the instructor, Alex, comes over and says, "Are you interested in being an instructor for the Department of Homeland Security?" I never even knew there was a whole thing. Okay. And I was like, "Me?" Because I was thinking, I press every button when I'm in a classroom. I'm going to ask questions. I'm really going to challenge. I'm like, no, I don't think so. This is literally me everywhere I go. I'm going to cause a problem because I'm going to. I don't know about that. But I said yes, just like that. So then it was the training for me to go out in the field to sign, all of the ethical documents and to travel and to then team teach with someone else. So Alex was he and has always been a really strong mentor for me. He designed the Department of Homeland Security DV program, and from there I went on to take the Drug Task Force Supervisor School training for sworn law enforcement only. That had to get kicked up. I didn't realize when I signed up for that one, like the next year, that it said sworn law enforcement only. And I signed up. I find myself at the DEA looking at the paper building, and I said, "Oh, they're never going to let me in. I'm not going to get in this." And I called a few of the police officers, and they said, "Sonny, just go ahead. You'll go in. You'll get in." And I said, "No, it says sworn law enforcement only." And they said, "Well, you just have to go anyway." And I walked through the door, and they're like, "Who are you?" And I give them the usual, "Oh, I'm Sunny Slaughter." Like, don't you know?
Mhm.
But, I was nervous because I'm like, oh, but what they did was they made some phone calls and I had to wait for, probably about 15, 20 minutes. And they came back with this look on the face. Okay, I guess she's Sunny Slaughter. And they said you're in. So I was in the class, the only female, the only person of color, the only Black woman, the only one without arrest powers in a class like 32 white men. And I was in there holding my own, and we were talking about cases, and they're looking at me like, how does she know about that case? And so that was that. And so I have been getting the credibility, the certification, and in the class. And I also led the training exercise at the end of the class. I was called the Black Widow. So I could command a something like Uvalde. I have those skills. And then I also was allowed to take the hate and bias crimes course for sworn law enforcement only. I received a scholarship from the Southern Poverty Law Center. The Department of Homeland Security approved it. And then I was in a course which was months long. This was a college course with at San Bernardino, California, online with sworn law enforcement. And now it was very heavy class, you know. I mean, they're all heavy, but so I've been training and taking classes and upping my skill and game, and then using what I knew. You know, I spent time. I did a lot of street stuff too, California. You know, hanging out with gang members because I used to like to race cars and be nosy and stuff. Yeah, so
So I
I,
mean, fearless, tenacity. I mean, and correct me if I'm wrong, but your first job that you talked about was the same thing when you went. The woman who was like, "You're not getting this job," and you just
yeah,
went forward, right? Is that correct? Is that
yeah,
the
yeah,
story?
yeah. They're saying, you know, they've never hired anyone. I said, oh, okay, okay, yeah, that's probably true. They wouldn't hire you. Yeah, people are always telling me what you, I've always been told the things that I could not do, that I would not be allowed to do, um, that I didn't have this degree, I didn't have this, or you know, they're not going to let you in the door. Yeah, I've been told that every step of the way. Somebody said no. Yeah, but they
Well,
didn't
that
know
leads
I was Sunny Slaughter. I'm Sonetta Slaughter, Sunny Slaughter, whatever one you. Yeah, I'm her.
that leads right into my next question, which is, I mean, of course, you are not going to let either anything stop you, but what effect has being a woman and having to come up against misogyny, but then you're also a Black woman, so you've had to come up against systemic racism and misogyny. How has that affected you in your career?
Um, I hear people, but I'm not good at listening. um, there have been times when things have been really painful for me. You know, they've hurt. Uh, but I have also somehow found myself in the company of men, women, people of different cultures and races that have embraced me as an individual. Somehow they believed in me, they saw something in me. And with all of the no's, I heard them, but I was not listening because I listened to something inside of me that said I could, or that I would at least going to try. But I always tell people, and I do this when I'm teaching, I'm like, you know, I'm Black, right? I say that. I said, you know, in case like you don't see this, or it is all a part of who I am. And I've loved outside the line, outside the color lines. I've colored outside the color lines. You know, I love everybody for who they are. I don't think about gender. I'm a woman of faith, but I tell people I curse and I will. Um, but it is hard for women. And the law enforcement side of me, I support the 30 by 30 initiative. It's a national initiative to increase the number of women in policing by the year 2030. I think that is important. I think all women need to, young girls and women, we need to know that we can do whatever we want to do if we are persistent, if we are passionate, if we are purposeful. And if somebody opens the door, then we need to run and not walk.
Wow, this is so inspiring. Um, so I
I'm
kind of
already
want to
crying.
what?
I've already, I'm already crying. I said,
Oh,
Oh, it's
don't
your
cry.
turn, babe. Get the gun.
I'm gonna back the show up uh, when we're off, and I'm gonna write down every single thing you said in that segment.
Gosh.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
You're amazing. I mean, this is why we have this show to highlight amazing women. And just like you said, so like we have this show, you go to our playlist and see all these women and all they've done, and it's inspiration, and it's just amazing. You're exactly why we have this show. So we can't thank you enough for coming on with us. I want to kind of ask about. So now you're working on TV, and you're a commentator. How did you get into that? Do you enjoy doing it? Like, is it like compared to what the other stuff you do? Do you like it as much? Do you like talk about that?
So I've been on television in some form or fashion since I was younger. But this is different. Uh, when I was in Alabama, I was on television a lot. I was the subject matter expert for the news on crime, domestic violence cases and things like that. I've done a lot of stuff for human trafficking. But 10 years ago, approximately 10 years ago, I I saw CNN as the thing that I saw those big letters and I was like, I want to do that. And Nancy Grace was on, right? And I said, I want to do Nancy Grace's show. And she had the handcuff necklace. And I was like, yeah, I need to be a badass like her. So I said, I see things and I'm like, okay, I'm going to pursue that. And I said, I wanted to sit in her chair. And I got the chance because I was on CNN's HLN After Dark.
Mhm.
So I was getting called for that. And I did that for several months. Like I was going back and forth. But right now, what I'm doing, I love this so much. I love all of my work, but I have been pursuing this where I am right now. And you know how you pursue something and then you get it and it's almost overwhelming. Well, I was pursuing this, and when I was in my 20s, I got Bell's palsy. I was married to my first husband. I got a case of Bell's palsy. I didn't know what it was. So, but they said, it probably will never happen again. But right before COVID, I got another case of Bell's palsy. It hit me. And then I got it like 5 times, but it was going from one side of my face to the other.
Mhm.
So when I received a call earlier this year to do Long Crime Network, and this is me everybody being really transparent, I was scared because my Bell's palsy, like I don't have that super sexy smile like I used to because I can't do this. And sometimes if I'm really tired like I am now, I can see the droop. So I see things and I'm like, oh, I can't say this right. I can't like do my kiss, and I was afraid. I said, oh, I can't go on television like looking like that. And then I realized, yes, I can, because I got a lot to say. And this is what I've been going after for all of these years. And some disabilities are invisible. And I got a lot to say. So I'm going to go on television. And so Long Crime Network, when she sent me the email asking if I wanted to be, I was like, am I being punked? I keep asking folks. And then I did the Idaho 4 first case breaking news. I thought I screwed it up. I was like, oh my gosh. And then 10 minutes later, she said, can you come back on? And I've been on ever since. And then Court TV, and then Scripps News with the whole mass shootings and the manhunts. I feel like I am so blessed and I get to be on the air with some of the most amazing professionals and experts anywhere. And I get to be on with the experts like the two of you who bring light lens to the work. Yeah. Am I having fun? Did y'all see me on Court TV? I haven't posted pictures yet. Oh my God, I was back studio. I was getting like makeup done. I was like, yeah, I'm on here, I'm doing it. Yeah, I'm having a good time.
Well, let's just take a quick step back because you kind of mentioned it briefly. The first time you go on, you're on the air and live. Was it the PCA in the Idaho 4 case comes out and you're live and that's the first time and you just talked about you're scared and that's the first thing that happened. Like, What was that like? You must have been freaking out.
Let me tell you, I was about to have a complete come apart because 5 minutes before I'm going on the air, the affidavit comes out. I'm the law enforcement person. I need to have the affidavit in hand so I can like scrub it because I'm the litigation expert too. So I actually do that. And I'm like, and what happens? The printer wants to take its time at my house. I was like, I'm already scared. And I was like, this is not going to be good for me. This is not going to be breaking news for 1 hour. And it was the Idaho Forum. Do you know that I will never forget that? First of all, the case was horrific, but everything that I was feeling, and I was like, I cannot screw this up. This is so important. Like, this is a moment, and I'm on national television, like the whole world watching. But I didn't do too bad because I was on right
We
now.
got a comment from Donna here. I'm never on at night until I saw Jay having you on. I told Sonny before you came on. I know we have Amber in here who wanted you on. We have a ton of folks who are like, you need to have Sonny on. So we're so glad that you're here and spending this time with us.
I'm so honored. Do y'all know I love y'all, right? Hey, Miss Donna. Me and Donna be going back and forth on it. Okay, so y'all know that I hadn't emailed y'all or been on because I've been on the road, but I'll get back to it. Look at them talking about because I'm Sunny Slaughter. Look, I love y'all. Hey, little nerd Amber. What's up, girl? Y'all know I don't know how to act. I love you guys. Jay,
we love
y'all. Oh my
we love
God.
you, and we love how you're acting. This is what we want. This is the authenticity that we love. I mean,
yes, and we want people to have fun when they're on with us. We don't want it to
absolutely.
be something that you have to like study your notes for or anything.
Oh gosh, no. My daughter asked me, because you all met my daughter. She said,
Yes.
Mom, do you write down things before you say it? I said, girl, no, I don't be having time to do that. I said, didn't y'all see we were having problems trying to fix the daggone computer? And she was saying, I told you to get up. You know, they're the boss of me. I told you to get up and get ready sooner. And I was like,
And before Shannon has her question, I just want to take everyone just a step back to remind yourself, 4 kids, folks. She's doing all of this. 4 kids. Again, I have 3, and I can't handle it with Shannon. Sonny's doing this with 4 kids by herself. It's just blowing my mind.
Look, you see this? This is. I'm not gonna tell y'all there's water in here. But it's okay. No, it's water. But I love my children. And Jay, I know because there were some days I didn't think, and there were some days I was like, "Are you kidding me? 4 kids?" But then you know what? The doctor said that I would never have children. When I was married to my first husband, I had endometriosis. He said I would never have children. I had a whole surgery. I had my whole left side removed and everything. So they said my chances with 1-2, like 1 to 3%. So I'm famous in the medical stuff too. So yeah, I had 4. I gave birth to, and child, let me tell you, 2 with no epidural. I don't, because they were taking too long. And yeah, and one, my oldest son, he acted like he didn't want to come out. I was trying to get him out for New Year's, to do the whole tax write-off. He was being
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like, it's been a whole deal. And then the one that you all met, my youngest daughter, Sienna, she tried to kill me, literally. I had hyperemesis gravidarum. I had a feeding tube.
Yes.
I was in the hospital for like months. Yeah, I was having a whole. And I said, and so that's why she's 2.0. We don't get along. Yeah, because I was like, you tried to kill me. I got a yeast infection that spread throughout my bloodstream, and then I had 9 OBGYNs and 3 infectious disease doctors, and they didn't know if we were going to make it individually or collectively.
Wow.
Yeah, she's 22. I was fighting like hell to bring her here, so she's here now.
That was just another no that you did not listen to.
Yes, it really. I've had a lifetime of no's. But then, you know what? I don't want anyone to think that I'm unique. I am not. We have all had our thing, our stories, our challenges, our ups and downs and things that we have been great at. I just happen to be out in public with all of my stuff. I've had a lot of bad stuff too. You know, my TEDx talk about being married to a predator. Who knew that? Yeah. So, uh, but we are all great in our own way. I just happen to be very loud and authentic and bodacious about all of my stuff.
By the way, that's if you want to see the TED Talk, it's on Sunny's website. All the links we're putting them in. Again, follow her everywhere: Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, all the pages. Make sure you're checking out Sunny.
Okay. And don't forget to get your merchandise. Okay, so y'all got merchandise? I gotta see that. Like,
Oh
I
yeah, we
gotta
got
get
some
you.
merch. We got some merch.
Okay, I'm gonna get some. Okay, get your merchandise because I'm gonna get some. And then the next time I'm gonna be wearing my merchandise. And I'll be like, hey y'all, hey y'all. Yeah.
Shannon designs it. She's got some good stuff. You'll like it.
Really? Okay. That's why y'all together. Mm.
I'm very lucky to have. She does the thumbnails. She does the social media posts. She does the merch. So she is a woman who rocks in her own right. Very much
Oh,
so.
she is absolutely a woman. Okay, Shannon, look at you busting out the skills. Jay, like, yeah, baby, I see you. I
That's
see you.
true. I could not. There is no way I could do this without her. Uh, quick story, Sonny. I quit my job for 18 years. I was a bodily injury litigation examiner, like for car insurance, and I
Oh
quit it
my gosh.
March 27th of this year is when I put in my 2 weeks, and I just jumped into this, took out some money out of my 401k, and here we are. So, and then Shannon kind of she joined me on this journey. So that's without her, no way I could be doing this.
Oh, see, that's love. I mean, okay. Okay, is anybody out there that I might be able to like long enough so I could do this with too?
I
I don't know.
Huh?
mean, I didn't think so. I made Jay prove it to me like 100,000 times that he was the real deal. I was like, both me and my sister told him that he was no good before he proved that he was good. We were
His
both
yeah.
like,
Oh my God. That sounds like me and my sister. Jay, what you do? What you do?
Well, so we talked before the show that we met on Twitter, and I had like this is my first Twitter. I ended my first. I had like 31,000 followers. I just told dumb jokes, but anyway. So I go to Shannon. I visit her for the first time, and we're at dinner, and her sister's like, "So is Shannon for you, or what about your 32,000 other girlfriends?" So, so that was my introduction to her sister.
Oh
She was
my
not
goodness.
she was not approving of me.
she made sure that you were the real deal. Now she loves you.
That's true.
Oh God. I love it. A
See?
story like a real one.
So you can find it. You got to vet extra hard nowadays.
Girl, I bet if a man asks me if I can cook, it's already over.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not doing that. I already did that. I have 4 kids. Yeah, I'm a good cook. You look at me. Do I look like I'm hungry? No. I'm well fed. Yeah, I can cook.
Oh, you're amazing.
Oh my goodness.
Go ahead, babe. We diverted to us. Let's bring it
We
back,
did.
babe.
We got to get
Okay,
back to
okay,
Sunny.
okay. Yeah, let me
I'm
shut up.
sorry, Sonny. We don't. The last thing I diverted on was escaping twin flames. We're not going to do that. Go ahead, babe. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yes, we can't get there. Okay, so I am one thing that I was super interested in when I was reading your bio is the National Opioid Caucus.
Mhm.
Can you talk a little bit about that? That is just such a, a heavy thing on our society.
It,
And
yeah. It really is. So I was the several, probably 2014 or so, 13 or 14, I was the co-chair of the Violence as a Public Health Issue Committee for the 8 states in the southeastern region under the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, under the National Partnership for Action. But while I was there, a representative formerly of the Obama administration. Somehow he found me and recommended me to be to be the co-chair of the National Opioid Caucus. And I don't even know what he read and saw that. But I was like, okay, I'm for it. I'm all for it because um, the intersection of opioids and the crisis in Appalachia and all of the drug, vulnerabilities that I have seen across over the years was really important that we address this. And so I co-chaired with another man, and we really talked about, we presented before the federal committees on, on drugs, and trying to figure out how to address this. And this was all at the same time when we were talking about the legalization of opioids put out through big pharma.
Right.
So when you think about drugs on the streets, there was the disconnect, and still is,
Yeah.
around big pharma and,
Mhm.
the movies that have now come out about painkillers and families. So I know what that looks like in, in families, and I just, I've been affected in my family by a lot of things, mental health, drugs, and all of those things. So whatever there is to tackle, then I take everything that has ever happened to me, all of my experiences and exposure, and I try to use it all. So, I'm always giving somebody hell, and I'm like, no, this is not what we're going to do. We're going to do this. And I'm a hell of a writer when I get to it sometimes too. So I make people, they say, you didn't go to law school? Nah, I didn't do it. I wanted to. I wanted to be a lawyer, but no.
Some great comments here from Anne. Her energy is amazing. Uh, Miss Dina says, "Thank you, Sonny. I respect you so much, and I'm so grateful to you for your time tonight. Thank you, Jay and Shannon, for bringing Sonny into my home tonight."
Thank you.
Joanne says, "Can we have Sonny back every week? We need her in our lives." Sonny has an open invitation. Anytime she wants to come on,
Yes.
we will have Sonny on.
Oh my God,
Absolutely.
I love y'all. And y'all have to, please excuse me that you keep seeing me with my cup. I really do have water, but I
Are
have
you
to
kidding
keep
me? I've been
drinking.
drinking this whole. Don't even worry.
Yeah, I
I might.
usually have mine. I don't know where I set it down.
This
So,
is my I got this from when I taught the FBI at the National Academy, and this is a really like good, cool cup. That's what that symbol is. It's the
mhm.
FBI's national. I was teaching there this year, and
Just
this is like,
casually. This is
Just
this is
when
what
she
I
was teaching at the
when I was
FBI.
at the National Academy at the FBI. Just this is just a cool cup I have. No NBD, no big deal.
As you do,
As you
you know.
have, yeah.
oh
um,
look, what is it? Expiring court reporter. Oh, listen, you can accomplish anything if I'm not saying that it was easy. I still have a lot of stuff. My oldest daughter, it was a lot going to therapy with her, all of the children. And I literally found out I was married to a predator. So I don't want you to think like this was all easy. I have been homeless. I have been hungry. I have been scraping. I have been trying to figure out how to take care of the kids, but they were in sports. They did everything. So what I want you all to know is just, it is never going to, if it's easy, everybody can do it and everybody can't. So just take what you got and just use it, and good people will find you.
when when you after you did your TED Talk,
Yeah.
did you have any idea that that would resonate with, I mean, how many times has it been downloaded now? I don't I it,
I don't know. Not
yeah.
enough. um, I did. I thought that there were a lot of people who, families have secrets, right?
Mhm.
Uh, in every family. This is not a race thing. Uh,
Mhm.
this is who we are. Sometimes, they say don't say anything. Don't let what happens in this house stays in this house. That was kind of. But when that happened to my daughter, and I have a big mouth and I can't ever keep anything, I was like, oh no. Um, Now I will say this. It was, and people want me to write a book about this. I said, as soon as I get some money, I will. I had to balance what I said out loud because my children were very young and how it would impact them. I had my daughter take the stand at 8 years old, even though part of me didn't think that was good. And then we were always talking about it in our house, and the kids were my two girls, because the Charles was the biological father of my last two children, but he was the legal father of all of them. So it was not easy to have four personalities and trying to explain. And then, people have feelings about, well, that was my dad. And even though they were 7 and under when all of this happened. So, but they're adults now. And I wasn't always a great mom. I made mistakes because there's no books on parenting. And I thought I did like a really horrible job. And now my children say they wouldn't trade me for anything. And that I was a really good mom. They said I was a good mom.
I
The
believe
best.
it. I think we all. I mean, you're awesome. You're so awesome, Sonny. You're the best, and I have to say, like, even like I'm so inspired myself because I literally just did a video yesterday where I'm like, "What am I doing? I don't know what I'm doing. I'm streaming. I'm a nobody. What am I doing?" And now I'm listening to you. And I'm like, "What? Shut up, Jay. Like, get it together, sir." And like, Sonny,
No,
you're so inspiring. It's amazing, and we
you
love your authenticity. I mean, it's like it's we're all gonna cry tonight. I'm not gonna cry. I'll give you a little tip, Sonny. I've cried so much on the stream. I'm gonna show you something that people they were like, I'm like, I don't know what to do, like, because I watch these cases and they affect me and stuff happens.
Yes.
So they're
Yes.
like, listen, you got to get gum, and people send me gum because they're like, we call it crying gum because I've cried so much on the stream. They're like, if you're
I
chewing on
love
gum, then you can't, then you won't cry. Like if I'm talking, particularly when I'm talking, because like you're
it.
talking and you're like, and like you can't, like you got to chew on gum.
Right.
So just a little tip for you on the
I
future:
love
get
it.
yourself some crying gum.
I'm crying gum. Oh my God.
So they're all passing it around. They said in the chat that they
Oh,
all have to pass around the crying gum
oh
right now.
gosh. You guys are the best. I mean, all of you. And oh, yeah, okay. I'm up for adoption.
Well, that's how I can't believe. By the way, it's almost been an hour, and I feel like
Gosh,
we've like touched this much of everything that you have done, and I knew that was going to happen. But I mean, you're just amazing, and we could probably be on here for another 3 hours at least
oh
talking about
my gosh.
all the things that you have done, and like just this show is blowing us all away. So, man, babe, any thoughts here? you
No,
you could
just
usually put it better in words than I can. So.
I just like am so happy that you came on with us, and I'm so happy that you let us into, your life and to show us all the things that you've done. I think of like you as a little girl with these detective magazines and having these conversations with your mom. And
Yeah.
this, you were meant to be here. You were meant to be where you are right now because throughout your entire, you never gave up. You always, you kept asking the questions, and if you heard no, you didn't listen. And
Yeah.
it's just, and I love that you showed your children that if you are stuck, you don't have to stay stuck.
Hmm. Yeah.
You got up, and in the hardest of situations, you took all four of them and you got out of there. And
Mhm.
I love your story. Thank you for letting us in on it.
Oh gosh. You, Jay and Shannon, and all of you listening, um, I am beyond grateful to be on and to be with all of you. The only thing I can ever be is me. I figured out that I can't put uh, the one good thing about Bell's palsy, because I have like a bad attitude sometimes, is that You can't see it with my face. Like I got a poker face. The Bell's palsy keeps because sometimes I want to like throw off an eyebrow like like so you can't tell that. I said so I think God just keeps using every little thing because He was like your face will say everything, and so yeah. So, but it's just my mouth doesn't have Bell's palsy. Sometimes it might be a little slow and it won't, and it's just like this one side, but it's going to get it out and it's going to say anything. But what I would like to say, thank you, Jay, when you reached out, I was like, are you kidding me? They want me to be on? And I'm looking at your other guests. I was like, oh, jeez. Now I got to try to level up to them. I was like, and then the two of you, and I was like, oh my God. I was really nervous. I know it doesn't seem like it because I'm like, oh, something's going to happen. And it was, and stuff is always happening when I'm nervous. But I am grateful to the two of you have created this, first of all, this family, this couple, this relationship. It is really impressive. Congratulations. I'm really happy for you all. And I keep saying, okay, I want to do that. And then I'm like, yeah, but I got a bad attitude and people get on my nerves. So I don't know if I want to be with somebody. But thank you all for creating a platform for people like me to talk about us authentically.
Well, you're welcome. And how I've been ending these interviews, did you follow the Murdoch trial? Yeah.
I was on the Murdoch trial,
Yeah.
and then remember the black sheriff guy that the chief, or was it the sheriff that took Paul? See, my father's from that area. Like I said, I hope he is not one of the relatives because that would, I really, yeah, my father's from Yamasee, South Carolina, and we have family all.
Oh.
And I kept saying, oh man, do you think I was like, I wonder if he's related to us. Just be my luck that he's going to be related to me.
So so maybe then that in South Carolina, a beau, they say, "Hey, beau," like that's a friend. So like I always explain this at the end. That's kind of what J Bo Nation is. I'm Jay, and we're all beaux because we learned because that's where I was tweeting during the Murdoch trial, and that's where I kind of started building my audience. So, we
Woo!
have J Bo Nation, and that's basically just our audience. And now you are officially in it, and all these people who are in this chat, and all these people on Twitter are going to be retweeting your stuff. They're going to be following you everywhere you go. We're welcoming you to J Bo Nation because we are so grateful that you would come on with us. So really, thank you so much. Son. You blew us away, really.
I'm humbled. All right, JVO Nation. Honey, you got me over that 3,000 threshold. I mean, I was like, oh my God. And Shannon, y'all were tweeting out. And you was like, I'm going to be on with Sunny. I'm nervous. And I'm like, did she look at herself? Did you look at you? I was like, I got to do my hair and everything. Y'all know I just got these daggone braids and stuff so I can be on TV because I cannot be doing my hair every time. Thank you for inviting me to JVO Nation.
You're welcome. All these folks are going to have your back. I'm telling you, with one of the best communities. We're so proud of it. So, guys, the stream is going to take you to Steve and Dan Publicly Buzz tonight. And then, guys, that's at 9. He'll be on an hour. Then Bob Mata is going to be breaking down the new Delphi stuff that dropped at 10, guys. And there's a lot that's going on. So, that's it. Good night, everybody. And Sunny, welcome to J-Bo Nation. Good night, everybody.
Thank you for joining us, J-Bo Nation. Please give all of yourselves an ovation. No, it won't be real long until next time. Oh, J-Bo Nation, there's no place we'd rather be. J-Bo Nation is the place to be. J-Bo Nation is the place to be. J-Bo Nation is the place to be. J-Bo Nation is the place